Hello everyone, Douglas Waltz, Old Man Comic Books review. So loud noise is the dog. You might see part of the dog right there. Alright. We have a large stack and a special book. So let's go ahead and just get right to it. We have number 17, Moon Knight. Writer Jed MacKay. Artist Alessandro Cappuccio. And when last we left Moon Knight, Hunter's Moon was dead. The bad guys are trying to kill Moon Knight. Moon Knight's trying to kill all the vampires. We get to see that they are on Moon Knight's turf, which is a living house that doesn't take any grief. And Moon Knight decides to show up at the end with Tigra. So it's been a good story. It's, episode 17, or issue 17, so at this point, you'll just have to start getting the graphic novels. Alright, issue 2 of Dark Ride. Dark Ride. Joshua Williamson is the creator and writer. Andre Bressan is the creator and artist. It's basically what if there was a horror version of Disney World that's just as famous as Disney and been around just as long as Disney. The only problem is with horror, you got things going on at the park that are famous for people disappearing and weird stuff going on, and the one guy says nothing scares me anymore, so whatever it is haunting the amusement park is going to show him scary, and it kind of is a little creepy at the end. So it's a good book. Alright, Amazing Spider-Man number 13. I'm assuming we have our same people. Zeb Wells is our writer. John Romita Jr. is our penciler. Scott Hanna is our inker. When last we left our Spider-Man with his spider glider. Yeah, it's a thing. He's being attacked by 2 hobgoblins. And something triggers Norman Osborn to activate his Golden Goblin Protocol. So that's a new character they're going to do in the new Dark Web thing. Here, I got to smack my dog. There we go. There we go. He's being a little noisy if you don't hear him. So, because Goblin's like, well, you gave me my computer to work while I was in the hospital after getting trounced by one of the hobgoblins, and his assistant said, I never brought your computer. So we'll figure out what's going on there. So it's an interesting book. I like this Spider-Man. We'll see how it goes. I think the Goblin Queen is coming back, so we'll see how that goes. All right, number 793 of Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, The Trinity Returns. This was sweet. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. This is always such small print. Michael W. Conrad and Becky Cloonan are the writers. Emanuela Lapocino with the pencils. Wade Von Grawbadger are the inks. This just sounds like a made-up name. Grawbadger? I'm sorry, Wade. So there's a signal on the watchtower on the moon, and people are called to investigate. So that would be Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman. This is just them having a little watchtower adventure. And there's aliens. But this was so nice. It was just the 3 of them getting together, having cookies and crappy coffee and hanging out together and just having an adventure. The artwork is gorgeous. This was a fun time. I still don't read the backup thing, the Adventures of Young Diana. I'd rather you just got rid of that and save me $1, but whatever. I'm not in charge. All right, our penultimate. So issue 3 or 4 of Gun Honey, Volume 2. I do believe our writer is Charles Ardai. Artist is Ang Hor King. If I did those wrong, people, just let me know. We left our Gun Honey on a camper, trying to get rid of the bad guy who's stealing her and the person she works with. And we're just getting ready to have everything is going to hit the fan. It's a 4-issue series. There's always a 4-issue series. With Gun Honey. This is the second one. I hope they keep doing them. And she's got to sneak into a big giant place to get the goods, because she can put a gun anywhere. So she has to pretend to be a stripper girl. So won't be a problem. She hardly keeps her clothes on now as it is. So this is the best cover out of the 4. There are other covers, but I did not have the option for getting those. Number 2 of Godzilla, Monsters and Protectors. All Hail the King. With our writer Eric Burnham. Artist is Dan Schoening. And Godzilla, when we last left him, was fighting monsters. So the girls are... The girls. There is a girl in here. Yeah, the girls and their little guy friend. They have to go talk to the twins, the Mothra twins, to find out what they can do to worry about when King Ghidorah shows up next issue. This is fun. I am kind of tired after this in Power Rangers versus Godzilla of the guy, and you'll all correct me in the comments. I know the guys who with the weird antenna heads and the funky sunglasses. They're always the bad guys. There's got to be other bad guys in Godzilla. Try harder. All right. Issue 8 of Ghost Rider. And that's the dog again, in case he must have wanted to be on the show. All right, so Skeleton Crew is this issue. Benjamin Percy is the writer. Corey Smith is the artist. And Oren Jr. is the inker. So I'm assuming Corey Smith is the penciler, but they call him the artist. So Johnny teamed up with Talia, who works for a government company, but they don't tell her what she can and cannot do. She's very goth, very witchy kind of thing, and they have to fight the new bad guy, Exhaust, and a bunch of dead roadkill animals. So, kind of intriguing. There's some Midnight Sun stuff going on in here, but I was never a Midnight Sun fella, so I don't know exactly what's going on with that. So we leave Talia and Johnny in Chicago. She gives him a big kiss, and it activates a very icky panel. So we'll see how that goes. All right, what do we got here? Dual Power Bomb number 6. One more to go. I'm so sad. Daniel Warren Johnson, writer, artist, creator. The guy who gave us Murder Falcon. I'll just always tell you need to watch Murder Falcon. That's how it works. So they had lost last issue, but then the thing is you get to have your heart's desire. And our girl is after her dead mother, and she found out that her partner, Cobra Sun, is actually her very alive father, who probably killed Mom by accident at the beginning of this series. So the other two wrestlers want what they want, so they are breaking up the team to fight each other to get what they want, which is ends up with them not making it. It's a big deal. So we get to have a final showdown where Cobra Sun and our Star Girl just fight God. So we'll see how that goes. God looking pretty ripped. Good going. They got that weird mask, but what are you gonna do, right? All right, I did mention there were a lot of these, right? Right? Okay. Issue 6, Captain America, Sentinel of Liberty. You know me, I got the Steve Rogers one. Writers are still Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly. Artist is Carmen Carnero. We left last issue where Bucky shot Captain America because he had to shoot a bad guy. And Captain America's like, you and I are going to have to fight about this. And they do a really cool big splash page with cybernetic arm versus shield. There is a very long, no dialogue, pure fight scene in this. So the artists should be commended. It looks good. There's a lot of the no dialogue thing. Not sure what about this ending where Bucky might be something else. So we'll have to wait and see. It says something about the Captain America and the Winter Soldier special. I'll probably pass on that. So we'll find out with Captain America and the Inner Circle. They also had something cute I haven't seen in a comic book in a while. They said that in the last few issues here, all 6 actually, there are 13 coded messages, and they give you the code. All you get if you manage to put those in, you just get bragging rights. You don't actually win anything. All right, last regular comic book. This is issue 12 of The Batgirls. Mr. Fun is the bad guy when last we left, but the girls find themselves fighting the Riddler, which is interesting. I don't find my credits. Sometimes they put them in the back. Nope. Did I just miss them? Let's find out. Because DC is notorious for making this hard for old people to see. And since it's old man comic book reviews. Let's, alright. And then there's the blogger lady who, gets damaged by Mr. Fun. And Riddler's having a good time with the ladies. Riddler's always interesting to see how people want to pick him out. So, let's see. Next to the last page. All right, Becky Cloonan and Michael W. Conrad are the story. Neil Goggy is the art for this one. And, yeah, Neil did a great job. And I was really worried that we were going to have this be the end. But it says, next, we'll see you in the annual. So they're getting an annual. I assume they're going after that. And they leave us with the Mad Hatter up to something no good. So those are our regular comic books. For this week, we picked up Hayao Miyazaki, Shona's Journey. I know when you look at it, if you're familiar with Miyazaki, you're automatically like, what's Nausicaa doing riding the guy from Spirited Away? No, not Spirited Away. Princess Mononoke's elk. Okay, so this is an old book. And we finally got it translated. So it's just... Shona is the prince of a very poor land who learns of a grain that if it's got the hull on it, they can grow it and his people will not die and starve. And it's his adventures trying to keep everybody alive. And he goes to some weird, magical, mystical places. It's all Miyazaki. He wrote it. Somebody else translated it for us. That was Alex Dudok DeWitt translated this for us. It's based on an old story about the prince who became a dog, and I'm not really sure why they didn't ever decide to make this into a movie. Miyazaki himself in the book says that he didn't think it was something that they would ever make into a movie because of the story's more of a environmental one as opposed to, action, adventure, magic. But there's magic in this, and odd societies and weird stuff. There's no aircraft. You expect that from Miyazaki. There is no aircraft. But you see some designs for things that come later, like Shauna's helmet looks so much like a Nausicaa helmet. And as I mentioned before, the elk looks like it came right out of Princess Mononoke. But this was done a very long time ago, one of his first efforts as a graphic novelist. I think it would make a fine anime film, but in the meantime, it's well worth picking up. I don't remember what we paid. We paid too much money for this. Its list price is $27.99. But if you live in Kalamazoo and you go to Fanfare and you give them $5, you get to be in the club where they knock 20% off of all new books, not just comic books. This was new, so they took 20% off of the $27.99, so it made it a little less ouchy. But in the meantime, this is a wonderful introduction to Hayao Miyazaki. If you're not familiar with this stuff, I would suggest after this, if you wanted to read maybe the Nausicaa books, just remember if you read all 4 of the Nausicaa books, you won't like the movie, because the movie's only half the books, and the books are so very good. So that's our giant stack of comic books for the week, and our graphic novel that we picked up as well. Sophie, Fiona, we went to Jungle Joe's this weekend. We went and had fun doing that. We went to the library as always. And next week we probably get a few books. In the meantime, I do want everybody to, go read a comic book. We're getting closer and closer to, Christmas. Comic books make the perfect gift for everyone. And if you go to Fanfare, you can tell them I sent you. Ask for the discount. And I'll see you next week. In the meantime, everybody go out and read a comic book.